So, how does music work? How does vibrating air make people cry? How can a few organized noises turn into weddings, revolutions, and Spotify wrapped? Somewhere between physics and emotion, humanity decided that sound, literal pressure changes in the atmosphere, could be art. And somehow we all agreed to pretend it's magic. But it's not magic, it's math. Music is what happens when you take random air vibrations, dress them up in rhythm and melody, and convince your brain it means something. A guitar string shakes, pushes air molecules around, and those ripples slap against your eardrum like invisible waves. Your inner ear, the cochlea, shaped like a spiral seashell designed by a perfectionist snail, sorts these vibrations by pitch. Tiny hair cells wiggles to specific frequencies, turning physical movement into electrical signals. Your brain reads those signals and says, "Ah, yes, that's Taylor Swift. I'm sad now." Your ear, by the way, is basically a biological microphone with built-in EQ and autotune. The outer ear catches sound, the middle ear amplifies it, and the inner ear converts it into code. The fact that this fragile meat sensor works at all, despite being exposed to decades of traffic, concerts, and bad Bluetooth speakers, is nothing short of a miracle. But here's the thing, sound alone isn't music. You can hear a blender, a baby crying, and a car alarm simultaneously. That's just chaos. Music begins the moment chaos gets organized, the moment there's pattern. Rhythm gives time shape, melody gives emotion direction, harmony gives context, a kind of emotional gravity that makes everything else make sense. Take rhythm. It's the heartbeat of music, literally. Your brain's motor cortex starts syncing to beats automatically. That's why even the most rhythm-averse person still ends up tapping their foot to a song in the grocery store aisle. You're not choosing to do it, you're being possessed by your own neurons. When a beat lands exactly where your brain predicts it should, you get a hit of dopamine. When it surprises you slightly, you get curiosity, tension, and then satisfaction. It's not just entertainment, it's biological conditioning. Melody, meanwhile, is emotion turned into geometry. Each note steps up or down a ladder of expectation. Major scales sound bright because they resolve neatly, tension leading to comfort. Minor scales sound sad because they leave space, unresolved gaps that your brain translates as longing. Dissonant intervals, that's your auditory system going. And yet, none of that's universal. What sounds tragic in one culture sounds joyous in another. That's because music is a language without a dictionary. We learn it through repetition, not definition. Somewhere along the line, your culture's playlist wrote it as emotional grammar into your brain. Harmony adds the third dimension, notes stacked on notes, sometimes friendly, sometimes violent. The satisfying ones, consonances, are just frequencies that vibrate in neat mathematical ratios. The ugly ones, dissonances, clash because their waveforms don't align, but composers use both. The beauty comes from contrast. You need dissonance to make resolution feel earned. Music isn't about perfection, it's about tension that finally sighs in relief. Then there's dynamics, the emotional volume knob. Quiet passages pull you in, loud ones throw you against the wall. It's the sonic equivalent of a plot twist. When the music whispers, your attention zooms in. When it roars, your pulse joins in. That's why even instrumental pieces can feel like they're saying something. Your brain treats volume changes like emotional cues. But all of that, the physics, the math, the theory, it's just setup. The real performance happens in your chemistry. Music doesn't just enter your ears, it hijacks your bloodstream. Dopamine for pleasure, oxytocin for connection, endorphins for euphoria. That's why a sad song can make you feel good about being sad. You're essentially doing emotional therapy via Bluetooth. Your limbic system, the brain's emotional center, lights up like a rave every time your favorite song hits the chorus. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the logical part, just sighs and goes, "Fine, cry if you must." That's why heartbreak playlists work. You're literally self-medicating with rhythm. And it's not just personal, it's social. Music has been humanity's Wi-Fi signal since before language existed. Ancient tribes drummed to synchronize movements, chant groups bonded through repetition, and dances turned chaos into coordination. Today, concerts are just digital campfires. Flashing lights, synchronized jumping, a shared emotional frequency. Thousands of strangers pretending to be one organism. The only real difference is that now, the shaman is a DJ. But music isn't just reflection, it's manipulation. A film score can turn a neutral scene into tragedy or triumph instantly. The same image of someone walking through the rain can be devastating or cinematic, depending on whether the strings go minor melancholy or major hopefulness. Your brain doesn't resist this, it wants to be guided. So, how does music work? It's physics performing emotion, vibrations dressed as feelings, the brain's most elaborate magic trick, turning waves of pressure into purpose. It works because you're a pattern detecting creature in a noisy universe, and music gives that noise order. It's the rare moment where chaos organizes itself beautifully enough to make you believe it's saying something profound, even when it's just air moving in time. Every beat, every chord, every lyric is your nervous system dancing with mathematics. And maybe that's why we keep returning to it, because in a world that's always shouting, music whispers meaning into the noise, reminding us that even the air can be art.